Hello and welcome to Snob Free Coffee. My name is MightyNigel and today we're going to be talking about cups. But as is tradition with Snob Free Coffee, we have to start with a crappy joke. So, what do you call a deer with no eyes? What do you call a deer with no eyes? No idea. What do you call a deer with no eyes and no legs? I don't know. What do you call a deer with no legs and no eyes? Still no idea. There is a third one that goes in this trilogy of lines, but it's a bit rude, so I'll leave it for the R-rated section of Snob Free Coffee. Anyway, cups. So, down in front of me we have a lineup of 6 cups. Now, what do these cups have to do with drinking coffee? Well, not an awful lot, other than the fact that you drink coffee from them. But it is handy to understand why, when drinking from a different cup, it tastes different. Does it matter whether you prefer to drink out of a tea-style cup, or a mug, or a latte-style cup? Nah, not at all. But there is 3 things that is interesting and helpful to understand. The 3 things are its thermal stability, its shape, and its size. So the one that's probably most important is the size, but we'll go through them. And I'm assuming that you're drinking lattes here, lattes or cappuccinos. Okay, so this is a teacup, and it's got a picture of a pukeko, or if you're an Australian, it's a swamp hen, but I'm a Kiwi, so that means that it's a pukeko. Okay, so it's a teacup, what I'd call a teacup. It's a bit thin, so its thermal stability isn't that brilliant. It's got a square base, which means that when you drink from it, the crema can get stuck in the bottom sometimes, and the crema is a very nice part of the coffee. And its size, so with this, really you want 1/3 of it to be espresso. So 1/3 of that would be, I don't know, it would be maybe 2.5 shots. So it's a bit hard to make 2.5 shots. So when you drink from this and you put 2 shots in here, it'll seem a little weaker than if you were to drink from, say, this cup. But we'll get to this cup. Stop jumping out of line. All right, so here is our next cup. It is my favourite cup in the whole world. I'm not British, but I did go to England to visit my sister, and I bought this cup, and I thought it was the shizzy. So this one here, it's thick. It's, well, thickish. The thermal stability is quite good on it. It's got a square base, so the crema sometimes gets stuck on the bottom. And if I put 2 shots in here and then fill the rest up with milk, it's nice, but it's a little on the weak side, but it's still very nice. This is my morning coffee cup. I like to sit out on the porch in my PJs and watch the world go by, and generally offend people. Okay, the next one. This is made by Bodum, as we can see at the bottom there. And it's a teacup, but I really like it, and the reason I like it is because it's kind of cool. It's a gadget. What it has is it has 2 layers of glass, one in there, one in there, and then there's a vacuum in the middle. At least I think it's a vacuum. I've never really found out. But basically what it means is that it's very thermal stable. In fact, this little blighter here, which is made by the same people, Bodum, which way? Bodum, there we go. It's so thermally stable that the only complaint that I've ever read about this cup is that the espresso is too hot. It's because it doesn't lose any temperature, or very little temperature, when it gets in here, so it's very, very hot. I really like this cup because when you're, or the glass really, when you're making espresso in it, you can see what's going on. So when I do demonstrations on Snob Free Coffee, I'll be using this little blighter. Okay, and that brings us to these 2, which are Italian standard coffee cups. This here is an actual Italian standard coffee cup. This is just like the Big Brother. Oh, I'm the Big Brother. So what does this mean? You put 2 shots of espresso in here, you fill it up with milk, and you've got the right ratio. This is how a coffee, if it's made in the standard way, the ratio of espresso to milk will taste the standard way. It's got a curved base, it's relatively thick. Heat this up beforehand, and the first sip will be about the same as the last sip. This is made by these people. Pretty cheap, you know, not that expensive. This is just the little brother of it. It's Italian standard. You can see on the bottom it says made in Italy. I bought that when I was being a bit of a coffee snob myself. But yeah, there we go. That's it. That's all there is to know about coffee cups. Well, it's all that I know about coffee cups. Enjoy. So when you make a coffee in one cup and wonder why it tastes different in another cup, it may not be you. It may be the cup. Have fun, and thanks for tuning in to Snob Free Coffee. My name is Mighty Nigel. Hooah!